So right now we're going to be moving to the next session, which is the Fireside chat. And while that is happening, please, if you have any questions, specific questions, if you have any particular questions for those who are going to be joining me on stage in the next few minutes, please write down your questions and then send it to any of the ushers. So ushers are standing right on either of the aisles. They're putting on white and blue trousers, so you can send your questions to them. Start writing your questions now because it's going to be first come, first serve. If we are not able to attend all the questions, we'll stop where we would stop. Okay? So we're going to be having 4 people on stage who will be joining me. And during that period, we're going to be discussing a very important topic, which says achieving financial stability in a high-risk Forex industry. So we're going to be learning how to achieve financial stability in a high-risk Forex industry. So we're going to be having the chairs on stage. And while the chairs are on stage, please join me as we make welcome Miss Abigail. Emphasis on the Miss, MS, Miss Abigail. Right? Accompanying her will also be Miss Cynthia. And then we're going to be having Mr. Michael Audu. And then finally, we're going to be having our boss, Mr. Olufukeji Ejimi Adebe. All right, we're going to be starting with the person on my immediate right. Yes, sir. So the question says, how has Forex trading in Nigeria fared over the last 15 years as a tool to achieving financial stability, especially for young Nigerians?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. So there has been a lot of progress generally when it comes to trading. When I started trading, there was little or no trader education in Nigeria. There was no broker presence in Nigeria. And we used to send funds abroad. You would literally do a bank transfer. And I remember how they would ask you to send your KYC, send this, send that. The only thing they didn't ask for is your liver or your kidney. And I used to wonder, I'm the one sending money to you. You are the one to give me the details of your family compound and everything. But 10, 15 years down the line, we have brokers everywhere. So that has helped with credibility. We have a lot of trader education. That time to fund an account, the minimum was $1,000. So I would save for a long time to have 120,000 naira because the exchange rate was 120 that time. And that would give me $1,000. Trader education was very expensive. Only foreigners were available. And sometimes you don't even know if the person training you is still trading because it's on a website. So some of them just kept the domain name, they've left, they don't trade again. And you are paying somebody that is not even trading. We used to go to Forex Factory. But now there is Instagram, there is TikTok. You can follow someone for a year before deciding to pay. If you can't afford the person, you can pay the people he has trained. You can link up with people. There's a thriving community. So in the last 15 years, there has been a lot of growth. However, that growth has not been without pain. There are many people that have gone to jail. There are many people that will still go to jail because they are awaiting their judgment. And there are others that will still go because they think they are special and they will still do fund management and they will still be arrested and jailed. So when you look at I keep saying this thing, when you look at the downside, a few people have very bitter stories. But all in all, it's a win. We have people driving luxury cars today because of Forex. We have people who used to be, and I'm not looking down on any profession, barbers who used to fix phones, now living in their own homes. Yes, the success stories are few compared to the struggles, but a young person who doesn't know what to do with their lives because Nigeria is very hard can go into Forex, become an educator or a tutor, become an employee, become a brokerage staff, set up an academy, set up YouTube channels, and generally do a lot while mastering trading and still trade and withdraw. So I think Forex has really changed lives. It has changed my life. It has changed the lives of many other people. So all in all, I think it has done more good than harm. It has brought legitimate ways to making money. And I will always be grateful for Forex because Forex changed my life. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can we clap for you? Okay, so you mentioned two things I picked out from what he mentioned. He talked about growth, and we all know with growth comes opportunities. So talking about opportunities, we're going to be sharing some opportunities that relate to the Forex industry in general. Shortly after now, we'll share so many opportunities that you can leverage on to build up capital for yourself and also earn a way of living. All right? So we're going to be asking the next question to Mr. Michael Audu. And the question says, what role does institutionalizing retail trading play in the experience of a retail trader? Talking about running a floor and joining an academy. How important is it to a retail trader?
All right, thank you very much. With regard to that question, I think we've already had an answer shared here in the story shared by Francis yesterday, Bala Francis. So he joined the floor as an experienced trader, but with the issue around compliance, risk management compliance, and all of that, right? But with his time at the floor, transformation happened because a community that understands what they're doing, surrounding you, helps you make progress fast. That's just the fact. All those demons that stay on our shoulder telling us bad ideas, bad ideas into your ear, you're just thinking about it and you're the only one processing everything. It's very hard to process thoughts if it's all in your head versus if there's someone listening and giving you feedback for what you're saying, right? So I think the advancement into having trading floors in Nigeria, first ours and then others I believe exist out there, is that it's creating a form of accountability for traders, for retail traders, a form where they are able to have some form of accountability. Accountability matters a lot. Accountability matters a lot, especially when you are talking about emotional decisions. Trading should not be emotional, but the people trading are emotional. And the only way to move towards a more systematic way of trading, of approaching trading, is by engaging in compliance, a structured pattern to trading, which the floor presents. So I would advise retail traders to find a way to connect yourself with an institutional organization around trading, and it will ideally improve your trading experience.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. When he said you don't have, when he said you...
All right, so Boss said something. It's not just about a trading floor, but I hope they also have compliance structure in it, because you can just have a trading hub, meaning everybody come, trade as you like, go back, whatever your matter is, you still come and go. You just have a hub, right, or co-working space. That's not necessarily a trading floor, but I believe we are saying a trading floor, and one of the major components of a trading floor is the risk and compliance arm of it, right? Just to be clear.
Okay, thank you very much. We're very clear on that. So you're seeing the importance of joining a community, especially one that has a physical location, so that you can attach yourself to it and also take advantage of the accountability platform that is offered there. Talking about accountability platform, Value Flow Trading offers that with our various courses. Though many are online, we still have many that are physical. And just to announce to you, we're going to be having a physical training in Abuja in the month of July. We're going to give you more details on that as we proceed. Okay, so let's go to the ladies. Let's start with Abigail. Now, The question says, can you testify to the stability Forex trading brings to a young Nigerian? So they want to hear your testimony.
All right, thank you. So for those of you who joined yesterday, remember me sharing my story of how I started. When I came to take the training at the VFT Academy, I couldn't even afford the course. I had to beg my dad to pay for the training so I can start Forex trading. 2 years down the line, I'm not going to call figures or how much I've made in the industry, but I remember a couple of months ago, my phone had gotten spoiled and I wanted to change it. And I was able to spend a couple of hundreds of thousands to get a new phone. I feel like that was the turning point for me. That was what made me realize that, okay, you're making progress. Then you now have people in our circle, someone like Francis Bala, who came to the floor. We know how, have you not seen his throwback pictures? If you see Francis's throwback pictures, he will shout. And while I was still on the floor, I'm still on the floor by the way, but while I was there, I saw Francis come looking, or rather, I came to the floor looking a certain type of way, and a few months spent on the floor, he withdrew $18,000 from a proper account. That I'm like, wait, 18K? Which job will you work that you, per year, if they pay you 150,000 naira multiplied by 12, do you know how much that is? Now, of course, I know that comes after years of practice, right? But for someone like me who is opportune to find myself in the trading academy, to have that proper guidance, and to be able to move from being totally broke to being able to spend hundreds of thousands without dying, that is growth, is it not? So yeah, that is for me, honestly. I came from zero and I'm still growing, and I hope to, get to the top. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. This kind of story wants to make me cry, but I'll not cry. My village people are here. Okay, so to Cynthia, the question that came says, what would you advise a newbie who is still thinking of becoming a Forex trader?
All right. First of all, I would say I've had lots of people saying they want to leave what they have going on for them totally to join Forex trading, right? I wouldn't advise that you should leave your side income for Forex trading. So you should have something by the side as a newbie before venturing into Forex. You should not even think about leaving what you have going on for you totally to join Forex, because this market will show you shaky. To really show you shaky. So hold on to what you have and also venture into Forex trading. Please, you know how to navigate managing your time while doing that. But do not leave what you have again totally to go.
Whatever you're doing, keep it going. You can take time off, learn trading specifically, but please continue. Why? Boss mentioned something yesterday. The market is designed for the rich. So if you never reach...
Okay. All right.
I think that's
so since you are still with the mic, there's a question, and it's pertaining Forex psychology. And I think you will be the best to answer the question. It says, how long does it take to build your trading psychology?
How long does it take? It's a lifelong journey, but it's like an exponential curve for those that focused on mathematics in school. Exponential curve meaning you won't get it for a long time. It won't look like you're making progress. Then years in, it now begins to make sense. The only other way I see that you can shorten the time to making your psychology work for you is probably staying with a community of traders, right? A solid community of traders that are compliant and have good psychology, right? That's one way to shorten it. But if you're, even with that, it's not going to happen in 2 months, 3 months. I have hardly heard of anybody that is successful in trading that is less than 2 years in. Hardly. I've not heard of 3 months and I've changed, my life has changed absolutely. No. It usually takes that 6 months, 1 year, 2 years in before everything begins to. Because you have to see all the sides. If you start with the good side, you see the bad side. Then it will fix your psychology. If you start with the bad side, you will now see the good side. It will help. So you need almost like 2 years boss will even typically say 3.5 years. It's we that are saying 2 years because we are learning from him, and he did like 7-8 years. So he now told us 3.5 years, shortened it. So we're now like 2 to others. So you should understand where we are going. Maybe you now tell others, 1 year you'll be good. All right, so that's it.
Okay, then lastly, how can you force compliance on yourself as an individual trader?
Force compliance. Compliance is a combination of bad habits. So just think about someone trying to quit smoking. What do you do to quit smoking? For those that consider smoking to be bad, those that don't, is there a general bad habit? Yeah? Okay, or reducing your coke intake, that's more palatable bad habit. Right? So just imagine trying to fix a bad habit. How long does it take? How do you impose it? For those of us that probably are, in fact, not those, everybody has struggled. One bad habit might be, I don't know how to pray. Something shy is making you feel like you're not the best person in the world. How are you coping with all those things? It's the same thing. It might take a while, right? How do you force it? You keep listening to all the things we are saying. It will not make sense until one day you just be like, okay, forever and ever, I will never do this again. That's the first one. We will do it again. Okay, forever and ever, second time, third time. But over time, if your heart is in the right place and you find people who constantly who constantly keep up to that compliance structure that you want to adhere to, you keep looking on to them, you too, you'll be changed. I hope people know the subtle message there.
Okay, so let me say something about this. Number one, understand this. When you use shortcuts in trading, it will not end well. That is statistically proven. What I mean by that is, if I wanted to ensure compliance, the first and the hardest thing I would do to ensure compliance is I will reduce my trading capital. Whatever amount I want to trade, I will reduce it. There's an amount that you can trade that the withdrawal will not change your life. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. When you have this next trade will change my life mentality. So I will reduce the capital that I am trading. That's one. The second thing I will do is I will try to target a realistic monthly return. Maybe 5, 4, 7, 9, 10%. Right? And I am doing that to acquire the skill. When I've done that for a while, I will let someone know that this is what I'm trying to do with this $100. If after 1-2 months I'm able to show you $15, right? Then I am going to move to $500 or $1,000. So that way you impose compliance first, not from the trading decision, buy or sell, from the funding decision, which is a permanent thing. So that's what I would do first. And then afterwards, I would also find another activity to take my time while I am trading. This is something we discuss when you do our paid classes and you come over to the floor. You should have, that's what Cynthia was saying, you should have something else you are doing that can give you that sense of progress. We are not only traders. We have content creators. We have tutors. We have Facebook ad strategists. We have copywriters. So there are other activities that we're building competence in that makes us feel good about ourselves. So that's another way of augmenting or enforcing your trading psychology.
Okay, so I think this answers the question that says, how can we take off pressure to, what is the best approach to pressure or to remove pressure from yourself while aiming to become a successful and a professional Forex trader? So we talked about acquiring a skill as a way to ease off the pressure. He talked about building a long-term approach, and then he talked about having another activity or another job to earn an income. Now, back to you, sir. There are some questions that are very professional and specific to you. The first question says, you mentioned about people going to jail because of Forex? I know they are not trying to say you went to jail or imply such, but the main question is, I want to ask, how does income tax apply to Forex?
That's a fantastic question, because to a large extent, we don't really have very clear-cut laws specific to Forex markets as an investor. It's still a gray area. However, we do have capital gains tax in this country, but it applies more to stocks, because you can't have a margin call as a stock trader. When you buy UBA shares, no matter how it dips, you still own UBA shares. So that question you're asking, it will fall under maybe personal income tax, but you would have to speak specifically with a tax lawyer or a tax consultant. But the laws around it are still a bit loose, because we don't yet have a regulatory framework for FX. The whole scope of FX regulation in this country falls under BDC licensing, and Securities and Exchange Commission certified financial advisor or something like that. But for retail traders, no, because the person you want to tax, he may have a margin call the next month. What will you tax? So, but in the UK, they have spread betting laws that affect spread betting. So you can, because we were colonized by the British, you can take a look at their laws to have an idea of where the framework for such laws will come for in a Nigerian context. So just put it under maybe your personal income tax at the end of your financial year. But be very realistic about it, because you can have significant drawdowns. But speak with a tax lawyer or a tax consultant.
Okay, then the last question that was directed specifically to you. The handwritings are looking big, so I'm suspecting it's a big person. If I don't direct the question to you, I will not know my whereabouts next. So he says, what is your policy and advice on using phones to trade, on news trading, and then on trading prop account versus personal account?
Okay, so using phones to trade, when I learned how to trade, there was no mobile trading platform. So it wasn't something captured in my trading journey. But I know very profitable traders that use only their phones. I know of one. He only uses his phone. The only reason why he has a tab is maybe because he teaches. So yes, you can use your phone to trade. However, if you are a serious trader, I don't think it's the phone you use for calls and business and emails. And so I know someone that has like 9 phones, and they are all specifically for trading. So even if you're trading, you should have a trading phone. Because why will you hand over a phone to someone and say, oh, give me your number, and the person is seeing your trading balance or can take a trade? I don't think that's very professional. So yes, that's me. But I will always go for screens any day, multi-screens. Doesn't mean you'll be more profitable. You can have more screens and more losses, but it just gives an air of professionalism when you are at your trading desk. The second question, which has to do with news trading. I know of people who say they have mastered news trading. At a point in my trading career, I really tried to master news trading. It just wasn't sustainable for me. Either the broker will widen spread, or there will be slippage, or the news that has high impact this month, next month it will come out, you will not know it has come out. CPI, PMI, NFP. So after a while, I just left it. But news trading can be very good if you are a busy person, so you don't have time to trade. You can check Forex Factory and know, oh, PMI is coming out so time. FOMC is coming out every second Wednesday at so time. So you say, I will trade post-news. So you are not trading the release when it comes out immediately, but knowing that news will push volumes into the market, inject liquidity, you say, I will trade the day after this news comes out, or I will trade the session after this news comes out. So there are people that trade like that. They trade 3 or 4 news in a month. They know a month ahead when that news will come out. So they make out time for that news. 2, 3, 4 hours or the day after the news, they take their trades till the next day. So if you are doing that, that works. But if it's news release manually, if you figure it out, please do a training. I will pay for it and I'll come and learn it. Thank you.
Then the last one asks on your advice on prop firm trading versus personal account trading.
You see this question, I don't want you to put me in trouble because some of you got free prop accounts yesterday. Yes or no? Thank you. And Octa too is here. My guy is here. Yes or no? Know the proper risk management that you want to use. Prop accounts can be risk management tools. If you spend $500 or $900 buying a 100K prop account, whatever you make on that account, your risk to reward is 900 to whatever. So that way it helps. But nowadays that after trading, you now start praying whether you broke one rule or another rule. So find a good prop firm that will pay you. But over time, I used to do personal account. I moved into prop account. And by myself, I moved back to personal accounts. If I see a good prop firm, and there are some very good prop firms that pay out frequently, I jump on it. But over the long term, the goal is to become a very successful trader and to attract high net worth individuals in a risk-adjusted manner and trade for them. That is a very long-term plan. Till now, we don't trade for others as a firm. So you know what I mean when I say long-term. So if you have $30, by all means, buy a prop account. Because what can $30 do in your trading, except you are trading synthetics, VIX, deriv. But if you have 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, trade your thing by yourself in a regular broker like Octa. All right?
Okay, thank you very much. So we have another question for Abigail. And the question says, where would you advise a newbie to start from with all the confusing information available? I believe this person is coming from, the confusion is coming from most likely YouTube, because on YouTube you see all the whole strategies and they are proving to be better than the other. So where will you advise a total newbie to start from?
I would say follow the route I followed to get proper mentorship. Now, I know when you go on social media, the boss, everybody is a mentor. Even somebody who just learned how to trade 3 weeks ago calls himself a mentor. So first, do proper research. Get somebody with a proven track record who is doing amazing things in this field, right? When you've done that, pay for mentorship. Learn from them, and if by any chance you cannot afford to pay for mentorship, then consume YouTube videos and downstream them to specific strategies that you can implement and try over time to see if they work. Before you do that, of course, start paper trading, demo trading, start there, learn from YouTube, implement. But if you have the money for mentorship to cut down your journey and the time you could waste in this field, just pay for mentorship and start there.
And if the person that asked that question is in this hall, you have started, attend our market call and show up every day. It's free. Look around you. There are people you can make friends with, and gradually you can be accountable one to another. So you asking this question in this hall, start with what value flow trading has offered you, and start with the relationships that you can get from the people that are here. Caveat: do your due diligence on their personalities, especially if they are asking you to bring out money. I'm not talking about value flow trading. I mean the people you are seated with.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's go a little more technical. We've been psychological with all the questions and the answers. Let's go a little more technical. Now, the question says, we've talked so much about the box strategy, and he's very concerned on the box strategy with regards to synthetic indices, and I believe he's talking about deriv. So the question is asking, does the box strategy work on any of the synthetic pairs? Does the box strategy work on any of the synthetic pairs? So I think we want to flip the mic over to this side. We have some people who have done tremendously well over time. So we would want to pass the mic over to Demola first, and then we have another question for Lekon. So Demola, please, in a few sentences, tell us, does the box strategy work on synthetic pairs?
Okay, thank you so much. I believe you're the one to answer that question when it comes to the VIX 75. It does work. I mean, it works across all asset class. You just have to look for specific and follow the instructions. Once you see your shoulder, your sweep, and then all of those extras that was being explained, you have to ensure you follow through. It works perfectly well. Just take your time, study the way price might be interpreted on each VIX pair might be different. Say VIX 75 is different from 25. But then once you settle down and stick to a particular pair, say VIX 75 now, that's what we trade commonly among ourselves, you are going to see it. Pure 15 minutes, 1 hour, you're going to see it clear and without any stress. Thank you.
Okay, now another question was directed straight to Mr. Lekon, and it's coming from one of the sessions you took. The question says, can you please explain better on what we should do and what time frame to use regarding the box strategy? So I think the question is asking, what time frame should we use to enter the market and analyze the market using the box strategy?
All right, like we said yesterday, depends on the kind of trader that you are. If you are a day trader, look out for your 1 hour when you already determine your trend and streamline it to like 15 minutes for your entry, specifically 15 minutes. So when you get that, that gives you room as a day trader. But if you want to catch, a very wider pips for you to go much longer on the trade, then be looking for it on daily time frame for your trend and also 1 hour for your execution, and that will give you much more better results.
Okay, so you use the daily time frame box strategy for determining your trend, and then you use 1 hour or any time frame below for execution. All right, since we are still discussing technicals, so a question came that I would maybe want to input on that. And there are two different people that asked very similar question. The question is saying, should we focus on one pair or trade multiple pairs? And I'm seeing a number here, up to 10. So is it profitable to trade on just one pair or trade multiple pairs, especially when you have your strategy and you found out that it works on up to 10 pairs? So should we just trade one or should we trade all?
Okay, so typically I always say this, especially with our guys even at the floor. Your strategy is what should determine that to a large extent. As I was discussing with one of the VIP participants today, I was like, if you have a strategy that, or if you have let's say you're using something like SMC, right, that has 100 ways to look at the same chart. If you're on 5 minutes, you can see IOFED, you can see Asian swing. There are so many things you can see on that particular pair throughout the day. A lot of things unfolding, and as they are unfolding, you can be trading them. I think, is it Michael Hordenston? That's his name? ICT traders. He has this thing where he trades live, and as the market is moving, he's making his analysis and he's making his decision on the 5 minutes time frame, 1 minute time frame. So that kind of person would tend to focus on one pair, because you can't do this kind of depth of knowing a pair, knowing where to go and come, and all of that on many pairs. It's not gonna work. Your mind can't handle all of that, right? But if you have a strategy that is very specific to a chart pattern, that happens maybe once in 2 days, once in 3 days, and it can work on multiple pairs, then it makes sense to go across. Because if you say you are staying on one pair, you may see your entry once in a month. So would you trade once in a month just to find out it hit SL till, so now we're in May. You've hit your stop loss for May till July before you take a next buy. It doesn't make sense, right? So at that point, you want to now check multiple pairs to find the same criteria and take the trade, especially if the strategy is made or is supposed to work across all pairs. So this is like the main thing. But that whole idea of stick to one has more to do with knowing what's happening on that pair primarily. I don't think, whether it makes you more profitable or not, I don't really see any advantage on either sides.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. While he was talking about sticking to one pair, to be honest with you from experience, there's how you stick to one pair and you start seeing it in your dream. I'm being very honest. How many of you have dreamt and you saw charts in your dream? If that has happened to you, raise your hand up. Okay, so I was trying to feel phenomenal, but I think we are many here. When you focus on one thing, even your subconscious starts to pick details regarding that thing, and then you start to get more in-depth in terms of your insights regarding that particular pair. So if you want to be that kind of trader that builds so much information and have so much data regarding one pair, you want to become seasoned in trading that particular pair, then you should stick to one. But if you want to become, not jack of all trades now, but if you want to be able to interpret the market wholesomely, then you can now start looking at multiple pairs. I think when we were talking about the dollar demand sentiment analysis, we were able to get sentiment on the dollar by looking at many things across board. But even after looking at those things across board, we are looking to trade it just on one pair, okay? But then we can also use it to trade multiple pairs. Although we've mentioned some pairs you should stay away from. I'll not mention it again so that maybe you have good experience to explain to others. All right, so some other questions came in. It says, just as you have yen baskets to analyze JPY pairs, is there the same for other pairs like GBP? So I think on TradingView, we have the BXY, which we use for analyzing pound-related pairs. It's just a basket of all pound currencies. Then we have the EXY for euro-related currencies, whether euro-based or euro-quoted currencies. Then we have the DXY, which is for dollar-quoted or dollar-based currencies. So you can take advantage of that. The BXY, EXY, and the DXY. I hope we've answered that question for you. Now, the next question is asking if we can open an Octa FX account and fund with Naira. So I think it's a very straightforward question. You can actually open an Octa FX account, fund in Naira, and the conversion will be done automatically for you. The processes are very seamless and easy. You just go to their website and you'll be able to follow through with all the instructions there. Okay? All right. Now, the next question is asking if value flow trading, is there a live Forex training session with value flow trading, or is it just online? Is there a live Forex training session? So I think it's asking if we have a physical class, or are all our classes online?
All right, so we have a variety of courses, some that are done online and some that are done on site. We also have personalized classes that are private and they are done at the Value Flow Trading Academy. So for you who's asking, we have one coming up next week, the FS Bootcamp course. Next week or upper week, it's going to be done at the Value Flow Trading Academy if you're in Zaria. But if you cannot come to Zaria, you can join online, of course. We have our ATM cash flow training, that is online and on-site, right? Whichever option you prefer, you can go that route. We also have our FX Bootcamp Pro course. Now, that is more like a personalized class. It's more private. So it will be you and the facilitator at the Value Flow Trading Academy. So we have different options for you. You can just send a message to us. Our WhatsApp numbers are on those banners there. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Since we're talking about our courses, I think this would be a good time to announce our live and our physical class here in Abuja.
Okay, you wanted it to be me? All right, so we'll be hosting the ATM cash flow class in Abuja in the month of July. I thought you'd be happy about that. Yeah. So for those of you here that would want to have a physical interaction with us, we're hosting a live class in the month of July. That's towards the end, usually at the third week of the month. That's our usual routine. So please, you can always reach out to us on WhatsApp or go to the registration stand, make inquiries. If your blood is still hot and you want to, you can make payments already. You can join online this June, and when we come live in July, you still be a part. Does that make sense? So you can join online this June. Then when we are live in July, you can still be a part. That's how we run our classes. So those that have made payments or been a part of the former class are always allowed to, but then you have to notify us, and then we would find a way to always add you to our physical classes. All right, so yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so you have the information with you. Now,
let me just put a caveat there. You know, Abuja is not Zaria, right? And the prices are not the same, right? This statement you made is obtainable till Friday next week, because the pricing for the Abuja class cannot be the same as the pricing for the class we hold on our floor. So once you don't make that payment, this thing you just said is for those who make payment between now and next week Friday, before we now announce the price for the Abuja event. Okay? Thank you.
All right, so as we are rounding off this session in the next 5 minutes, I want us to just give our final thoughts. Just 1 minute for a final thoughts, and would end from there.
Well, I think you should venture into forex trading if you are yet to. That's all I have to say to you all. Thank you very much.
You know, the way she said it, it's like, if you like, venture into it. If you like, don't venture into it.
When I buy
I'm
my
the one that
Benz.
know what I'm gaining from it. So if you want to join, please join. All right, so Abigail, final thoughts, please.
Okay, all I'll say is forex trading can be a life-changing opportunity for you, but it will take a while before you get there. So give yourself time, give yourself grace, be patient with yourself. Stop comparing yourself to the online mentors you see who are showing off money, showing off cars. Be patient. You will get there, right? It's a wall between being unprofitable and being profitable. And we're able to cross that wall. It's to the moon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's to the moon. Once you're able to cross that point of being patient and disciplined, it's to the moon. So if you let me not say anything further.
All right, so my final thought would be trade responsibly. Being in charge of risk management compliance at the floor, I think that would be my advice to everyone. I still have a session to talk about that a bit, but I would say trade responsibly. We've heard too many casualty stories, and it's even the reason why the industry keeps getting tighter, harder, and if you're in the US, UK, they are putting so many regulations because they find that their citizens cannot trade responsibly. So they are like, we now have to create something to, right? So if we keep having cases with EFCC and all of that, one day they'll just say everything about trading has to, right? They have to now put laws and everything and all of that. So please, let's strive to trade responsibly. For the trader out here, please try to trade responsibly. Think of your trading as a business. Think of it as a career. Think of it as something that can be done. It's not gambling. Trade responsibly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. When you said you should think about trading as a career and as a business, I remember a couple of years ago, I met a relative of mine who is very interested in my growth. And he asked me, since you are done with school, what are you going to be doing? Or what have you been doing? I told him that I'm a Forex, I've been trading Forex, and I'm planning to take a career out of it, even possibly pursue master's degrees in Forex trading and also get certifications. So he asked me one question. He said, are you making money? I said, sir, I'm making progress. He said, that's not what I asked you. He said, are you making money? I told him, so since I have not asked you for money before, I think you can believe me if you say I'm making progress. So don't allow anybody, whether family or friends, to pressure you into bringing immediate results from Forex trading. Treat it as a career, as he has said, and then have a long-term approach while applying discipline, patience, and proper risk management. Okay? The final thoughts, sir.
So all I would say is one of the very first mentees that I had, when he started out with Forex and I started teaching him, his sister was in school abroad and his dad was the one footing the bill, and his dad was about to retire. And around that time, his dad started getting very, very ill, and they didn't know why. So when he started trading and doing very well, he took over the payment of his sister's school fees abroad, and he took over the bills in the house, and they just realized the dad didn't fall sick for 1 year. So they saw the doctor somewhere, and it was like, long time, sir. And they now realized that the sickness was because retirement was coming, and the dad didn't know how they would cope. So when he stepped up, the dad became well. He has currently relocated to the UK, paid for everything by himself. He's doing his master's in investment banking in a university in the UK. And on the leaderboard among students, he's number 1 in the trading. In the other areas, corporate finance, taxation, he's seeing shaky because that's not box pattern or fair value gap. But in the trading, he's doing very well. So is it worth it? Yes. Will it be easy? No. But when you cross over, it will be very, very worth it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you put your hands together for all our panelists during this period? Now, you've seen how from the beginning of this period, value has been flowing from us to you. And that's why you're seeing the name Value Flow. And that's what we intend to do even in the coming days, coming weeks, coming months, coming years. Even today we gave 2 trade calls, USD-JPY and AUD-JPY. And from the last time I checked, those are earning in profit. How many of you are still in the trade? If you are in the trade, raise your hand. Okay. So if you people came here, spent almost nothing, and they are going home making good money. This is what we intend to do in the coming years and coming months as we proceed. Thank you very much, all our panelists. One more time, can we put your hands together for them as they take their seat?